Hi everybody, this is Alchemist 2, and I'm back again with another series review. I just watched Hellbent, which was yet another episode of Doctor Who, and it took place from where Heaven Sent actually left us. And interestingly enough, it incorporated a lot of episodes prior to the incarnation of what we know as the Doctor himself, and it answered a lot of questions as to who the hybrid really is, or who the hybrid is a conglomerate of, I should say. Spoiler alert. But this episode, it was yet another one that just, it utterly brought me to the brink of just sobbing in paroxysms of snotty tears. And it was rather disgusting to see. I don't like people to see me have a crying session like that, because it was just uncontrollable bawling, and I hate that. But it was just another one of those episodes that provoked me to tears, and the writing was absolutely brilliant. It was perfection. And of course, we see the Doctor receive a new sonic screwdriver, and I thought, oh, merchandising opportunity. I may purchase that if it comes out, because at this point in time, I do not have a sonic screwdriver. I did. I had Rivers, I had the 10th Doctors and the 11th Doctors, as you probably remember from past reviews. And I love those screwdrivers. They were a lot of fun, and I know it's kind of silly for me to actually have something like that at my age, but I'm still kind of a big kid, and I would just love to have it because it's entertaining and fun to have, and also pretty daggone cool. Just proving my my fandom, my love of all things Whovian. This episode I thought was so much better than the former, and it still had that kind of, it brought to mind, if you ever watched Star Trek, you know what I'm talking about, the whole idea of the continuum. Yeah, it had that same idea. I thought, you know what, Q would be very happy here, even though it's like Indiana. I mean, I hate to equivocate it to my home state, but it's just kind of laid back. Nothing much really happens. It's just, yeah, we have a lot of history and sports and different diversions. We've got a lot of pop culture that happens here, but it's really not a place where we have the big, like, Silicon Valley. We have our equivalent of Silicon Valley is Eli Lilly and Company, and people keep forgetting that. But we have that, and we have Baxter, and we've got life sciences on our side. So I'm going to step in a little bit, but still, it's kind of the more, we are very welcoming people, and we're very open, and we're not kind of the sorts of persons that are too, tense. I don't think people in Indiana, or I don't think Hoosiers are that way. We're just very hardy, hardworking people. We're agrarian types. We're mostly German, that's why. But uh, it's very interesting to see our background. We've got a lot of French and Irish and English, Scottish, mostly German. Of course, you can see a lot of that influence, and it's not much happens here, but it's still very a very welcoming place that you can just feel like you're at home, and it's just a beautiful place. I think I love it. I'm opinionated though, but it just, the whole idea, really thought, oh, it's just like Indiana. I mean, it's, yeah, beautiful. It's lovely, but it's just kind of, just everyday life, and nothing too terribly exciting happens. But it had that whole feel of the continuum, and it brought that to mind, and it just that whole idea, it was nostalgia for me because I used to love, and I still do, I still have quite the crush on Mr. Delancey. I will admit to that. John Delancey. I adore him. And anyways, this episode was just absolutely astronomical and phenomenally done. Um, I look forward to more in the future, and it had hints to one of my favorite characters, and of course they were talking about that on the blogs that not the blogs, or the forums and the feeds that I get from Facebook from my Whovian fan group. So I thought, yes, I was so happy. I mean, as a fangirl, I nearly had an explosion of supernovic implications, but it was something that I just knew was going to happen sooner or later, and I cannot wait because I love this actress. She is one of my favorite actresses of all time. And of course, I'm interested as to who you think is going to be the new companion, if there is going to be a new companion, and where it'll go. I personally would like to see another Martha. Well, Martha was less. She was kind of understated, I think, and I enjoyed her. She was one that the doctor kind of overlooked, and I always felt like she was just not appreciated. Donna Noble, I absolutely adored because she was the comedic relief, and I really like that kind of setup. But I don't know if they're gonna do that. It's just I personally enjoy that. Of course, I love Rose, but Rose was kind of a chav, and I prefer more of a lady to be around the doctor, honestly. Even though in this day and age, the ladies are kind of hard to come by. Just saying. But we'll see. We'll see what comes, and that's all I had to say about this particular episode, and just his tenacity and his determination, and he never gives up. That's one thing I really like about this particular doctor, and he's doing things that he normally wouldn't do, and he's the rebel, like he said. He is the one deviation of the standard. He's the square peg in a round hole. He just doesn't fit the design, and that's what I like. I think that Doctor Number 12 has become easily one of my favorites because I really like Tennant. Of course, I love Tennant, and I love Matt Smith and Baker's classic, because he really defined the role and took it as his own, and he's just such a consummate actor. I just adore him. He was a more compassionate doctor with a kind of a comedic flair about him, and Capaldi has this very intense, stern, austere nature, and also the rebellious streak, the guitar and everything. The whole badassery, I love it. That's basically all I have to say about this particular episode and everything that was going on, and all the all the information that he's beginning to become himself, basically, and learn who he really is, his identity, as it were. And I think that's what this makes this series so relatable, and just looking forward to more, especially this Christmas time. I'm excited. Woo! Sorry, I don't usually get that eager and avid about such things, but this is different. Yeah, this is something I am waiting for with anticipation. So something definitely to be patient about. Till next time, live long and prosper. Ciao, Tootsie. Bye.